The Traveller's League Book 1 The Timepiece, written by Nick Goss. The Last Mission. The gushing of water, the warmth of the early summer sunshine and the cooing of pigeons worked in unison to wake Hoops from what felt like a hard nap. His head felt like it was full of fog and he had a hard time getting and keeping his eyes open. Sitting up, the side of his neck ached. His head had been tilted as he had slept curled up on his side. He guessed he had been out for several hours at least, and backpacks didn't make great pillows. For that matter, park benches didn't make great beds, not even his favourite one. As his head cleared, his surroundings made sense. This was his park, the one in front of his apartment building. This was the park he crossed on his way home from school with friends, and this was the very centre of the park. The large fountain gushed and gurgled, and flights of pigeons would come and go, looking for whatever they could scrounge, scrape or steal from clumsy, crumb-dropping humans. Everything seemed so normal and familiar. It was like he awoke in one of 1,000 boring memories, but Hoops was okay with being bored for a change. It was nice not to wake in danger. There were no bears, toxigators, marsh trolls or minotaurs anywhere around him. The sunshine felt like a warm, welcome home hug, and the entire summer break remained unplanned before him. He was so glad to be back. For a moment he wondered if all his adventures with the timepiece had just been one long, tiring dream. Did I fall asleep on my way home from school? He unzipped the backpack laying next to him and peeked inside to find animal skin clothes, a cloak and leather boots. His heart beat fast and he jumped up and stuck his hand in his pocket. The pocket watch was in his right pocket and it was set for 12 o'clock, and a small scroll of paper was in his left. His heart raced now. He rubbed his hand on his shirt and felt the cool metal and smooth fabric of the ribbon pinned over his left pocket. This was no dream. He was home, but he wasn't done. His last mission had brought him to his own world. And not only that, it had brought him to the park right in front of his home. Let's get this over with, Hoops, he told himself. He had no idea what to do or what would happen. He didn't know what his last mission was. He just knew the timepiece had a way of taking him to the right starting place to begin whatever his next adventure might be. So he just walked. Hoops had walked on every path in this park hundreds of times before. He could visualize a perfectly accurate map in his head and get from one end to the other blindfolded. He was so familiar with the park, he would end up walking home out of habit. His body just knew how to get home without thinking, and would turn here or there, and he would jump over cracks and steps while his mind worked on other more important things. Then he froze. He couldn't make any sense of what lay on the ground in front of him. He squeezed his eyes shut and opened them, but it was still there. He did it again, same thing. Rubbing his eyes and pinching himself didn't make it change. He closed his eyes tight one last time, took a deep breath and opened them. It was still there. They both were. Hoops looked at two shadows shooting out from his feet. The bright sun was on his back, but it made two equally black shadows. But the one on the right was very strange. It had its shadowy arm raised, finger pointing down a split in the pathway that led to a playground. Hoops walked straight ahead and past the split, but the shadow kept pointing in the direction of the playground. No matter what direction he walked, or where in the park he found himself, his extra shadow kept its finger pointed the same way. Just like a compass remained pointing north as he turned or spun his body, the shadow didn't shift at all. Hoops gave in. He followed the direction of his shadowy guide and headed down the path for the playground. A few small kids tumbled, tripped and trampled on the jungle gym. As he passed under the shade of trees along the path, his shadow would disappear, but always returned with the one on the right guiding him forward. He found an empty bench and sat, watching and waiting for whatever would happen next. After a while, some of the parents moved on to other activities in the park, prying their whining toddlers and crying babies away from the metal kiddie kingdom. New parents and kids would arrive and replace them, and it would all start over. Every so often, a kid about Hoops' age would ride his bike or skateboard past the playground. Hoops wondered how long he would have to sit and wait for something to happen, when finally a boy about 10 years old rode up to him on his bike. He plopped it over on its side as the kid jumped off and climbed to the top of the jungle gym. He looked like the king of the monkeys, showing off how quickly he could get up there. As he watched the kid climb and play, he had this weird feeling. The timepiece felt like it was vibrating or buzzing in his pocket. He pulled it out and looked it over. Suddenly he realized his travels were over and his last mission was to give the pocket watch away. He stood slowly and walked towards the jungle gym. The boy at the top was about his age and was busy swinging and balancing, towering above all the smaller kids like a tall, bored veteran. Movement out of the corner of Hoops' eye made him glance towards the ground. The second shadow was pointing away from the jungle gym towards the swing set. All the swings were empty except one. A girl, a year or two younger than Hoops, pumped the swing to its highest. Her gold-red ponytail would wave like a flag when she swooshed upwards, and she had a look on her face that she was determined to make her swing go upside down this time. Looking back down, the second shadow's finger pointed directly at the girl. "Oh no, Smitty said no girls, the old rule, he'll be furious. I can't, I'm a member of the Travellers' League now, I must follow the rules. They're my friends, it's the old rule." His mind made every reason and excuse not to follow the shadow's direction. He turned back towards the boy, dead set on delivering the gifts to him, but the oracle's words echoed in his mind. "You must finish your travels. Only then can the girl be found. Only then can your friends be saved." He remembered the kindness of his first friends, Wally, Tom and Duin. He remembered the cruel and wicked Braxo and the terror and pain he caused. Only she can stop him, the oracle had told him. Staring at the boy, Hoops knew what must be done. He knew what was right, and though he was scared to do it, he also knew that bravery didn't come without fear. "It's a stupid rule anyway," he told himself as he turned back and followed the shadow to the swinging girl. When he got to the swing set, the girl noticed him and made a dazzling leap from the swing's highest point. A perfect landing. Made Hoops a little jealous. "Awesome," he said. "Thanks," the girl chirped. "I've been practicing." "I know this sounds weird, but I've been looking all over this park for you. I have something for you." "Who are you?" the girl replied. "Do you go to my school or something?" "No, you don't know me, but I know who you are. Well, kind of. I know who you will be." Hoops smiled as he talked. "My name's Worthington Hooper. Friends call me Hoops." He extended his hand for a handshake, and as he did, the girl noticed a gold medal hanging from a red and white striped ribbon. It was pinned to his shirt just above his left pocket. Out of his pocket, he pulled a small rolled-up piece of paper like a scroll, tied with a red ribbon and sealed with a blob of red wax. The wax seal had the letters TL stamped on it, and Hoops handed the scroll to the girl. "Don't break the seal and read the scroll until you get home," he said. "Okay. Weird. What is it, a birthday invitation or something?" Hoops smiled again. "It's the code, the Traveller's Code." "All right. Well, thanks for the weird note." The girl turned to walk away. "Wait, I haven't given you the rest of it," Hoops shouted after her. "This is the best part." He reached in his other pocket and pulled out the old pocket watch. He opened it and set it to 1 o'clock and handed it to her. "Don't wind it up till you get home, and read the Traveller's Code first." She reached out slowly and took the timepiece, looking it over with great care. "My name's Eva May." She tried to be polite, but at the same time figure out why she was being given a gift by a strange boy. "So, you're just giving it to me? Why?" Because I have to, it's my last mission. Hoops looked a little sad. And it's chosen you to be next. Next? Eva May was confused and curious all at once. The next what? She said, as she looked down at the timepiece in her hand. You're the next traveller, said Hoops. 1,000 questions raced through her 8-year-old brain, but when she looked up, Hoops was gone. The end.